Hi, welcome to today's episode of Let's Transform. My name is Monkgori Mashara. I'm a project manager and a transformation strategist. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about self-perception review, goal setting, and how you can actually stick to your value to achieve your goals. So the first important thing that we'd like to look into before you look at how you've been performing throughout the year and what you'd like to achieve in the coming year is your self-perception. How do you see yourself? How do you value yourself? And how do you evaluate your performance? The way that I see myself is directly influential in what I achieve, my approach, and my resilience. If all that I am acknowledging about myself is my weakness, I'm only going to see the resistance and the barriers to what I want to achieve. But on the other hand, if I'm more appreciative of my efforts, what I'm capable of, and the strengths that I'm yet to use, then I begin to see more opportunities for growth, for business, and just other social ties which I need to balance out my life. If you pay attention to your environment, you realize there's so many things that you never actually think about, but they're constantly there. The people around you, the opportunities to collaborate, the brands around you, and you can even draw your behavioral patterns from these things. For instance, you're likely to go buy bread at your favorite corner store because of convenience, or when you feel some sort of way, esteemed, it's month end, you'd like to go to the mall or a higher value retail store. The closer you get to yourself and the more you become aware of your habits is now how you get to achieve your goals. Most of the time, I see myself as a great aspiring project manager, a transformation strategist, so I'm always looking for opportunities to learn. How can I do things better? What can I do with the information and the knowledge that I've gathered throughout the time? But the times where I used to see myself as a job candidate, I'd only acknowledge the lack of employment and the lack of satisfaction in the role that I would be working. And it's really the way that you perceive things and the words that you use to acknowledge what you're going through that influences a lot in your behavioral patterns. Where you want to be and where you are right now is entirely dependent on what you're doing when what you want isn't happening. What do you do when you feel like giving up? What do you do when your boss or leader is not around? What do you do when you're financially strangled, if I may say? What do you do when you feel like today is just not your top-notch day? You haven't performed your most, you haven't met your goals for the day, you haven't given enough time to family or anything else that you wanted to dedicate time in that day to. What do you do? What you do about it is the difference between your goal satisfaction and your actual aspiration. Another thing that's also very important is establishing in the beginning why that thing is a priority or is a goal to you. What happens when you don't achieve it? Is it affecting your energy? Is it affecting your balance? Is it affecting your income? Is it affecting your integrity? What is it about that thing that makes it a goal? And what's going to happen if you don't do it? And what are you doing in the meantime to make sure that you're building towards getting it? A lot of us love to be gratified instantly, and that is where most of our depression and frustrations come from when it comes to goal achievement. The truth is, we also have to acknowledge that we can't change everything. The more I focus on what I can control and what I can directly change, the more I'm fulfilled, the more I stay in my energy or in my vortex. I'm not in a wobbly shape because I know that this is the best that I can do in this situation. And it becomes easier for me to look now into what else I can do. When I'm moving from point A to point B, once I get to B, B is no longer the destination. It's where I've been, done that. I know how to get there. I can even go back in reverse. Now I can see E, I can see F. I can even try a squint to see what's happening all the way at Y-axis. And the truth is, the more I want to perform, the more I become. I become more experienced. I become more enlightened. I become more fulfilled. I get more income. I build a network. And my rapport is so strong that even if one project isn't working out, I can always venture into something else that's more fulfilling. One last thing that I want to talk about is guarding and being guided by your energy. If something makes you uncomfortable, it is a sign in your subconscious and your spiritual being that that is not what you truly want. Being cornered or forced into something is going to make you wobbly. Your work is likely to be just to meet the requirement, not to beat the existing work. your attitude is going to be less compliant and very tense and rigid. Before you know it, your day is spoiled because you're being forced, or you don't have the stand to say or express what it is that you'd like to prioritize or what you're actually actively working on. It's very important. Guard your energy, let it guide you, and don't even chase. Like, the more you chase, the fact that you're even chasing is a sign that something is getting away from you. Go where you're being met halfway or you're being openly received. That's really the truth behind everything. That's why people always talk about getting into business, about something you're passionate about. You're not chasing it, you're growing it, you're fulfilling it. And the more it meets you halfway, sometimes you don't even have to move, it'll come to you, and that's ultimate satisfaction. I wish you the best in this year, and I hope that your personal reflection makes you happy, and if it doesn't, you have more goals.